That's cool.
God, what an
It
asshole.
makes her look like a movie star, though. Like, she's got something to hide. She's on drugs.
Absolutely.
Which I love. Are we
so
are we
funny.
taping?
Check. Hold on, let me get everything rocking and rolling. Yes, we are.
Oh,
All right. Well, welcome to the Sea Otter Town Hall podcast with Dylan Krasinski and me, Michael Kerrigan, and our lovely guest, Ruth Allen.
Hell yeah.
That sounded forced.
I mean,
hell
listen.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
It sounded like you took like a course from Steve-O. He's like, yeah, say hell yeah all the time.
Dude,
Hell yeah.
that's so funny. Well, Ruth, we're very happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
It's only 45 minutes late. Super exciting stuff.
I had to get my Red Bull. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we scheduled this. It's really nice.
Listen, I live super close by. You know when you're close to something and you're like, I got time.
I do that.
It'll be
It
fine.
actually makes it worse for me. Like, if I lived right beside a club, I'd be late for every show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you just
Yeah.
sleep till like the last second.
Literally the last second you have, it was like 1:44, and I was like, I think I should head over.
I mean, we did the pod before this at noon, and literally I got out of bed to get in the shower. I had to do this whole setup. I got out of bed at like 11:40. 11:40.
Set up this whole
Okay, it's a lot.
very
you know?
elaborate set. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of wires. I got to take them all out of my room.
that's true. That's true.
You know, listen, there's a lot that goes into this. It's very professional.
It does. Do you make beats on this?
Yeah.
It does look like a beat maker, doesn't
When
it?
oh, and you know what these do? These I think they'll.
Oh,
They should go into
I
that.
love
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's amazing.
Is that a bird one?
It's just too far away. I can't reach them. I think it was a cricket. Yeah. Every time Mike tells a joke, baby.
Someone was doing that at an open mic once, and I was like, "This is
That's mean
so."
as shit.
It was
Yeah.
mean, but it was so funny,
But yeah, hilarious.
and it was bad.
It was a bad joke.
Yeah,
Mike?
but you know what? It really isn't accurate to do crickets in New York. It should be like rats, like
Fighting.
scurrying, like a rat scurry.
Yes.
Or like somebody ordering from a bodega.
Yeah. I was thinking,
Chopped cheese, no tomato. Thank you.
how do you feel about dogfighting? You pro or against it?
Against? I'm against dogfighting.
Me
for
too.
sure.
I'm 100% against dogfighting. I think it's gross. But how would you feel about pigeon fighting?
I could be convinced.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, like, when we get bored with that, we're gonna have the pigeons fight the rats, and it's gonna be pigeons versus rats.
To be honest, I'd be more interested in seeing a pigeon and a rat fight because I had no idea. I couldn't even guess who would win. I would
know,
think
there's-
rat,
They're
but
same family, right? It's like they say pigeons are like rats with wings.
yeah, rats
I mean,
with wings.
scientific. Some scientists are watching this, like, no, not even close.
Not even close.
I like that you think that there are scientists, multiple scientists watching our podcast.
Yeah, I know.
That's also, hey, it's all about having a positive attitude.
Absolutely.
I'm wearing pants with a rip in them, and I wish that I could say that it happened recently. It happened weeks ago, and don't look for it. It's in the worst
it's in your
possible spot. Yeah.
crotch. Oh
That's-
my god.
That, you should be able to be charged as like a predator for that.
I only realized because I didn't think about it on the last pod, but I have to keep like I don't know what the camera angle is. It's just gonna like a. My other
I had
jeans
work
are
pants
dirty.
like that. I had
God,
like
too
these
much.
linen work
Not
pants
ideal.
ripped in the crotch, and I used
They
to have
are
this.
linen. Oh my god.
All linen in the summer.
Have you ever
It's all linen in the summer.
ask him how
baby.
much those pants cost?
How much do they cost?
These were not the expensive ones.
Ask him. This is a guy. Mike is a guy who sleeps on the floor because he doesn't want to spend money to go to a chiropractor to fix his back.
Which is
and then he
draped up
told
in
me,
linen.
ask him what his most expensive pair of linen pants are.
$145. Alex Crane, the linen artist.
That is insane to me. He has a roommate who's addicted to crack, but he's like, I'll spend
That guy
$150.
has been missing for months. We threw him out.
Really?
He was smoking crack. He threatened to kill everyone in the apartment. He told me he always would let me in. Like he was one of these guys who was so not slick about anything. He'd be like, Mike, he'd like tell me his secrets. He'd be like, I'm the one, doing smoke. I'm like, dude, I know you're the one smoking crack. You know what I mean? Or like,
What does crack smell like?
it actually kind of. This isn't
I
accurate.
like that was
really.
your first question. Not like what
I don't wanna
happened
say
in
He's
his
like, I
life.
know you're smoking
I don't want to say
crack.
burning plastic, but it's got like it's nothing like weed. It's like you smell it and
I
you're
would
like, it's an unnatural smell kind of.
Like burning chemicals.
Yeah, kind of
Like
like
if you
that.
light hair on fire.
No, like burning metal. Have you ever heard like smelled construction workers like they're like welding?
Ooh,
It's like a gross smell. I only know the smell really well because it was a lady who was just took a huge crack rip when I was coming down the subway, blew it like, one of those perfect timings, like right in my face. And I was
Did
like,
you get like a contact crack eye?
no, it's more of a vapor.
Okay.
It's a lot more like a vapor than that's why I was impressed by her. She must have mixed tobacco to get that amount of smoke. Because like when you see people ripping crack, they exhale like nothing.
Dude, I would have had a fucking instant.
Like I kind of leaked a little thing. Like I've seen people
ripping crack.
I would have had an instant panic attack, just fucking freaking out, thinking I was gonna get a crack high, and then addicted, and then all of a sudden,
one time I was smoking
giving out
a
handies
joint
on the corner
with comics when I first moved here.
Okay.
And I was nervous, and I immediately dropped the joint on the ground, and everybody was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is really humiliating. And I was the first person to spark it up, and then I passed it, and the guy who had rolled it, I was like, that tasted really good. Like, what strain is it? And he was like, oh, I'm not really sure, but I did sprinkle a little H in there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was a joke, but I didn't know that, and I was so determined not to be uncool that I was like, yeah, no, for sure. I gotta go. And this was at the Tiny Cupboard, so I was like pretty close to home, but as I was sprinting through Bushwick, because I was like, I gotta get home before the H hits, because I'm not gonna be slumped down in this neighborhood. But I woke up and I had fallen asleep on top of my sheets with all my clothes on, like my winter jacket and everything. And then the next day he was like, it was a joke, and I was like, well, the placebo heroin effect was pretty intense.
Dude, that sounds like it might have actually been laced.
I would have had a straight up. I would have gone to the ER probably. I'm like, this guy said that there was heroin. Oh my God. That's too much. I can't handle that.
Right? I was like, I can't believe I accidentally did heroin. I've been here for like 4 months.
Not a fun joke.
That's such a classic like New York tale. That's exactly. She's like, I got off the bus to be a. You're like talking to a homeless person. Like, I got off the bus to be a comedian. Yeah. Bang! They lace a joint with heroin. I'm hooked.
I'm hooked. My life is over.
I came here to be an artist, and now I live on the corner.
I'm a junkie.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. That's
not the case.
The progression.
Have you been in Bushwick your whole time here? Mm-hmm. This neighborhood?
Yes. I have lived on Covert pretty much the whole time. I lived in Ridgewood, Queens.
Giving out your address to the...
Oh, shit. Well, can you bleep it?
Hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Yeah, open micers are just going to show up to my street.
I mean, I wouldn't be worried about the open micers. With our fan base, I'd be more worried about other people.
I don't know our fan base, yes, but
I actually don't either.
I love the comments, guys. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. We like the positive ones, also the negative ones.
I love the ones where they don't believe the story.
Yeah, they are all true.
Oh, people
stories.
are calling your bluff. They're like, you liar.
Yeah, or they're like white privilege, and I'm like,
those are actually my favorite ones.
That's not white privilege; it's white power.
Every time Mike tells a story about like avoiding an arrest or one of his friends avoiding an arrest, everybody will just be like, if you weren't white, this would never happen. And it just drives the clips up. I love it.
Yeah.
There's truth in it.
There's a truth to that for sure.
Yeah. My theory though, when I was younger, now not in a blackout because I never got arrested, is people like guys I knew that got arrested. I'm like, guys who get arrested want to get arrested. You know what I mean? You're not thinking, you're not making the maneuvers to not get arrested. You ever heard of running really fast? You either chalk it up. You're either like, I'm going to talk my way out of this, or I'm going to run first. Some of these idiots, they don't run, and then they panic. Once the guy's talking to you, bro, it's over. It's too late. The panic ain't going to... Then they try to run when, like, the cops have them. Like,
it's like 5 cops surrounding them. Yeah.
I've seen that happen. The guys, they start, like, they just lose it.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
I don't believe it.
I mean, the way you said that was so believable, out of control.
Yeah, I have, but I don't want to talk about it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because it's not like a funny story. It's like from when I was a teenager and kind of like stupid.
Okay.
It's not a fun, cool story.
Do you have any better stories about almost being arrested? Or
about like almost being arrested? I mean, yeah. One time I was almost arrested with a group of people in a car. Like it was a fully packed car, and we had been smoking weed and got caught in a speed trap. And then when they rolled down the window, it was like smoke literally like billowed out. And the cop was like, okay, so we got a different situation. You were speeding, but God. And they took everybody out of the car. And this was back in Minnesota. And it was in the middle of winter. So it's like sub-zero out. And they have us all like up against the cop car. And they're strip searching everybody. Or not like strip search. They're just like patting everybody down. And they were tearing the car apart trying to find weed. And I was just like, this sucks, Because we were going to go see a movie. It was, I think, like Interstellar or something.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
And
Get
we're
high
like-
and go see Interstellar. Come on.
Exactly. It was going to be sick. But it was really upsetting and everybody was real nervous. But they couldn't find anything because we had like smoked a joint and then tossed it out.
Yeah, smart.
But it just like the smell was so strong. And as we were leaving, the cops were like furious. They just were able to give a speeding ticket, but they really wanted to like get us on a drug charge and they weren't able to. But when we got back in the car, everybody was like, we thought for sure you were going to snitch. Like, we thought for sure you were going to fold and be like, we were smoking weed. I'm sorry. I was like, no.
That's mean.
I know.
Yeah.
It was. I have kind of like a snitch face, but I'll hold it down.
Not with those glasses.
No, that's why I'm wearing them. I'm like, just a little bit of
You look like a fucking
something.
hard,
like I do
hard in
coke.
prison. Yeah, it looks like you got a ton of secrets and nobody's ever finding the bodies.
Did you just
Or the money.
associate, Kerrigan?
No, I'm just looking. I was thinking about those glasses. They do make you look like they got a movie coming about you, like how it all kind of, you were a star and how you got all messed up.
All
on the
messed
way.
up. It's like a Robert Downey Jr. kind of.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys who turned it around.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
But he was doing black tar heroin in his trailer.
Was he
and shit
really?
like- yeah.
Dude, he was part of like not the Rat Pack, but like the
Brat Pack. That's what they were called.
Dude,
the Brat
Except
Pack.
Leonardo
The Brat
DiCaprio,
Pack
I
probably
think.
did more coke than the Rat Pack. They started at like 8. Dude, Drew Barrymore was doing coke when she was like, "Yeah, I was at a party. I was 7.
Yeah.
I started doing coke with
Yeah,
these guys I was dating at the time while my parents
She's
were
doing
blacked
coke
out.
between takes at ET
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man.
with her apple juice and coke.
Apple juice and coke.
Another one doing great. Survived that type of crazy, lifestyle.
Yeah.
I actually did coke for the first time after doing stand up.
I thought you were gonna say with Drew Barrymore.
No, that would
wow,
be a
that is
better
interesting.
story. I wish, my God. But
Did you like it?
I was kind of underwhelmed.
Okay.
I would say
I've
because I
never
don't know
done
if
it.
I did a lot. You've never done coke?
No, I we just talked about it. I was too nervous when I was younger. I was just too scared, being like, oh, I'm gonna die. And now I'm like 33, and it's like I'm not gonna start doing cocaine.
You could just do it casually. It's
I
not
mean,
something you have to
listen.
like start and continue doing it.
You should really watch how they make coke, and it'll turn you away. They used to make everything was taken. Like if you were gonna extract
When the government was making it, it was safer. Now,
no, that's true because they absolutely, dude.
That's true. It's 100%.
They would use alcohol. That's how you would
Yeah.
extract anything from an herb or a plant. Use like clean alcohol, but that became like too expensive. So the cartels use that. You know how they call it gasolina? They use diesel fuel, and then they have to clean it out, and then they use battery. You're like, bro, this is. I don't know how you even live after you do it, and it kind of does smell a little bit like gas to me when I smell it. It has like
does.
a little bit, and that's why guys have problem with like erectile dysfunction because of coke. In
Because
the
of the
70s,
gasoline?
because they changed the chemical properties of it. Like Joey Diaz will talk about it on his podcast. That and his like pro kidnapping campaign he's got. He's like, legalize kidnapping. Don't be a hot on about it. There it is.
Shit, sorry.
cancel the pod. Cancel it.
Ding. It was like a gong.
That was a perfect end to Kerrigan's
Yeah.
legalized kidnapping bit.
Hey, I'm against it. I'm against kidnapping.
Yeah.
You know what I thought about the other day? Dude, they're not kids either. When you're an adult, isn't it like adult napping? But that doesn't sound right.
Adult.
It sounds
Like,
like
you can get kidnapped as an adult, but you're a grown up.
that sounds like a Seinfeld bit. That's a dark Seinfeld.
What do you call it? Adult napping?
Hey, yeah, it's, yeah.
That was like a really bad
Kidnapping, more
Seinfeld.
like adult napping. I don't know.
And there's no naps involved. Why are they calling it napping? I was
What do you
awake the whole
mean?
time.
They're not going to sleep.
Unless you
I was
put
too
them
scared to sleep.
What's it called when an adult gets kidnapped?
They still call it kidnapping.
They
I like
call
that-
it predatory kidnapping. I don't know.
Still kidnapping. There's no difference. I like how you Googled it, being like, is it still kidnapping? And the Google's going to be like,
Google's like,
we're going to look into her.
Whatever. Oh, I guess. Am I on a watch
Dude,
list
did I ever
now?
tell you
That's
this
fine.
one?
Tell me.
I was groomed once. I didn't realize it till afterwards. Yeah, I was groomed by this guy, right? Here's the worst part about it. Bro, I was
How old were you?
35 years old.
What?
This guy was like plotting to molest me as a child. And like, if I could meet him again, I'd be like, yo, dude, I was an adult. You gotta groom. But like, you know how I knew I was being groomed? Like, I remember I used to sell him weed. He would get mad nervous, but he was that type of guy. Like, he'd be shaking. But then the night I knew, and he'd always bring up like skinny dipping and all this like weird stuff he used to do. He's like, oh, it was great. We used to live in the subway tunnels and we'd be jerking each other off. And I'm like, dude, where does great come in? You were homeless. So then one night, Dude, he hands me a lightsaber. I was like, dude, I'm not a kid. You can't molest an adult. I am a grown man. I live by myself. That's the type of disrespect you get when you're me. Like, this guy was like, if he's bragging to his predator buddy, he's like, I got this real kid. I'm trying to get how old is he? 35 years old. I'm a grown-up.
Jesus
Unbelievable.
Christ,
I'm
dude.
an
Disrespect.
adult. You
Yeah.
can't molest an adult.
Yeah, I'm an adult, right? Isn't that weird?
What the fuck? What is that guy doing now? You keep in touch?
In the subway and jerk each
No,
other off.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, how do you even meet? You said you were selling weed to him?
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was like someone vouched for him. He did buy a lot of weed, though.
What guy vouched for
The
him?
guy that worked security was a comedian. He was a security guard at the building where this guy was like working.
Good God. What did the guy do for work?
I don't know, dude. He was mad nervous. Who knows? Those people.
Yeah, you
all-
saying mad nervous? This
Maybe
guy
he
was
was-
trying to molest me and he was mad nervous.
Yeah.
He's like shaking.
I honestly think he just found you attractive and he was trying to hit on you.
He's
Trying to
married.
Bringing.
To a woman?
Yeah.
You know what it was? He was probably married and he's trying to get something on the side.
Well, of course, it's side. I mean, he's not going to bring me into the marriage, bro.
How do
Invite you
you
over for
know?
dinner.
Maybe he would, actually, these days. I don't know.
These days, who knows?
You just show up,
Cheers.
expecting to have
He's
an
got a
experimental thing, and
He's
they
got a
just murder
bouncy
you.
cancel in the back.
We
I'm
talked
like,
about
dude.
that the other day.
Yeah.
We talked about cheating at Online Hustle the other day. Remember?
Cheating what?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Remind me.
About I was like, have you ever cheated on somebody or been enabling?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about this, but
Yeah, I was like immediately, never mind.
Yeah, no. What I said,
about you?
I would never cheat on
Have
somebody.
Yeah, I have.
You
I've never
have
cheated
cheated.
on somebody, but I've facilitated cheating.
Okay. All right.
But if you're
Because
single,
I mean,
if you're single, I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't-
doing anything wrong, and they suck. So I mean, I try not to make.
that's
Anyway.
the thing. No. Because that was what I said. I get that it's the same, but like, I would never cheat on someone if I'm with them. Like, I wouldn't be with someone in a relationship if I wanted to be with other people.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's what I'm saying. People who cheat, I'm like, break up with your fucking partner.
Yeah. So I'm very
You're
loyal,
such
but
a
like,
coward.
if someone, if I'm single and someone is like in a not great relationship and they're trying to like, who am I to
blow it up.
Who am I to
detonate
tell
the
them they
situation.
shouldn't be doing that? What am I going to be like? You shouldn't do this. They're going to just go find someone else to do
Yeah.
it with.
That's what. Yes, that's what we were.
That's
talking
what we were
about.
talking
It's they're just gonna fuck somebody. So
might as well be me or you.
might
you
as
know?
well be me.
The high moral standard on this
All right,
Town Hall
Mike,
podcast.
dude.
Comments
What
are going to
have
be
you
blowing
never-
up.
Ugh, well,
Mike's celibate.
this is why I don't do podcasts because
Mike's
it's
a
like
virgin.
whatever. Are
I
you
wish I
really?
was a virgin.
Oh, when did you lose your virginity?
Next week.
What?
3 o'clock.
Why?
You wish you were a virgin?
No, I think it would be cool if you had to stick with that. It's very
you
difficult.
would be deranged.
Yeah, it's tough not to be deranged.
You would
I
definitely
mean,
be.
more
dude.
so than you already
Well,
are. But
that's
like,
why they used to. That's why I'm a big fan of arranged marriages. I think it's a great thing.
yeah,
right?
because it takes a lot of stress out of it.
Yeah, it takes a
think.
lot of stress. That's why they used to marry them off early, so that they wouldn't be whoring around town. But think about it. You know who hates arranged marriages? Therapists. Therapists
Why?
feed off of people just being.
Being upset.
That's why I think they kind of encourage, especially women. They're like, don't change your lifestyle. Keep doing that because it's money in the bank, baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All the trauma that comes in.
This is what I did want to talk about. The other thing we were talking about, and I told you I was going to bring this up. I feel like this is when Ruth and I became I feel like we became friends through this
Yeah.
experience.
He was
Absolutely.
going to say best friends. He wanted to say
No, we are
best
best
When
friends.
we became best
When we
friends.
became best friends. We were at the show and we did the show and there was this guy there who was like Adonis. Like he was this beautiful man. He looked like, honestly, do you ever see 300? He looked like the villain, like Xerxes. He looked like that guy.
The guy was
And
like really tall. He was like,
yeah,
hot as
bald.
fuck.
Everybody, all the comics on stage kept being like, "Are you gay?" Like, oh, because he was wearing a very a very loud outfit, and he like just looked really good. Like you could tell he probably gets pedicures. Like he has a skincare routine, all this stuff. And he was with this other woman who was also beautiful. And I had a really good set, and I was like, oh, I definitely am going to talk to this girl after. And Ruth and I are in the back sitting there, and I was like, oh, that girl at the bar is so cute, blah, blah, blah. And both of them come over after to talk to us, and immediately this woman is like a little drunk, and she immediately like couldn't walk past me faster, walks right up to Ruth and is like, "You were so good. Oh my God, I love you." Hugging her, like kissing her, and being like, "We're going to a club. Like, you should come with us. Come with us right now." And then she like looks at me and she's like, "I mean, you could come too, I guess." I was just like, "Well, I'm not going."
Dude, because I almost didn't go.
What
Because they
club?
both seemed just like,
Pyramid?
I can't remember. I don't know. It was some dance club, and it was honestly too much. She was twerking on me so hard at the
So
club. She
funny.
knocked me over at one point. I slammed my knee so hard into the ground that it like through my jeans made my knee bleed.
Really?
It was just
Twerking's very
like,
aggressive.
yeah.
And then you told, so then I
She was
see
nuts.
fast forward, and then I want you to tell your side. Fast forward, I see Ruth like a week later, and I go, "Hey, did you end up like hooking up with that girl? Like, she seemed super into you." And Ruth goes, "No, she got too drunk at the club."
So I fucked her boyfriend. Well, I mean, they weren't like, she lived in Canada. It wasn't that
Yeah.
serious. But yeah.
They sound like kind of like swinger types.
a little bit. It was
I
that
don't
kind of vibe.
even think they were together.
Because she was making out with me at the club, and I was like, that, I was like, all right.
And
I
he
was focused on her, and he was
didn't
just
mind.
kind of in the peripheral, just lurking around and like buying us drinks and stuff. But then she got hammered and was kind of out of commission for a second, and I was talking to him, and he was just like, why don't we do something? And I was like, why don't we do something? But he lived in Long Island City, and I had to go all the way out there. This is what we talked about, remember?
I thought he lived in Jersey City.
I can't remember. What's the difference?
Big difference.
Big
I know
difference.
there's a big difference.
Jersey
One is
City,
like,
you'd know if you went to Jersey City. You got to get like a PATH train.
Yeah. You told me it was Jersey City.
Long
I
Island
think
City's
that's
I
like,
think
what
it was
probably
Jersey, 'cause
was. I think it was Jersey City.
this is
I'm not
also this
sure.
guy
I can't
bef-
remember because I didn't care. I
Before
was
you
just like,
guys
fine.
left, he was showing me pictures of his apartment, and he
Yeah,
was
they
like,
had a stripper pole. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? He was such a douche, but he was really hot. So whatever. He
Go to
still
his-
has my clothes. I
yes.
still haven't
So
got my clothes.
this is my favorite part of
you're
the
not
story.
getting those
dude.
clothes back.
I fucking better.
You woke up, right? You slept at his house, and he left you.
Yes.
He left you to like go to work, right? And
Yeah,
you
he
told
gave me
me,
a key to his place. It was like, if you want to leave and come back, here's the key, and like whatever, just do your thing. And I was like, okay,
completely normal behavior for someone you've known under 12 hours.
absolutely, right? I was just like, all right. And then there was like cameras in the house too, and I turned them all towards the wall because I was like, I'm not gonna let this guy fucking watch me all day.
They watch. That's part of his kick. They watch these.
Probably.
I mean, they
rich guys,
watched.
dude. They watch. I've seen a thing on it. It was a gay guy on TV, and he's like, "Oh, of course I watch all." You probably heard about it. He's like, "Oh, of course I watch all the guys I leave there. If the NSA does it, I'll do it too." But it's
Straight
like
up
it's probably a
illegal.
new thing.
I think it's probably smart to have cameras in your house if you're just gonna leave a stranger. But I was like, I don't know, I'm not gonna do anything weird. I just watched like a comedy special on his projector, and it made a pizza. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna bounce. And then I was like, where are my clothes? And I searched his entire apartment and couldn't find like a sock or anything. I looked in the washing machine, which later he was like, I washed your clothes, but I'm like, that's where I looked first.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that shirt. So I think his name is Christopher. I'm not sure. Please give me my shirt
Yo,
back.
cough it up, big guy.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like
the
that
shit that
shirt
he's
a
doing.
lot.
So the weirdest part that I don't even think I said was weird at the moment, but like you just put on his clothes.
Yeah,
You
I did.
found clothes of his and just
I
went
took-
home.
I took his clothes and I bounced. And
I
I left
mean-
him a note with my number. And I said I like that shirt.
Made the trek from
Yeah.
Jersey City to deep Bushwick, Brooklyn. That was probably an hour and a half commute,
Yeah,
maybe
it was.
longer.
And I had a show like soon. And it took, looked at it, like was tearing his place apart for like 3 hours. Cause I was like, I really want to find my fucking clothes. He's such a big dude that I was like, I'm not going to be able to find clothes that fit me to leave and not look like a dumbass. So yeah, I ended up leaving in like a black t-shirt with a shamrock on it and weird like athletic leggings and some pretty cool socks. I'm going to keep those.
And you heard from him, but he like has not given you the
Yeah,
clothes
he
back.
was like, let's meet up. He's texted me his work schedule, and then I was just like, I don't want to see this guy again.
Oh, that's the old Costanza move. Except for he does it the reverse way. See, Costanza, what he does is when he's at a woman's place, he'll like throw his hat down. So then he has a callback. He's like, oh, I left the hat over. This guy, he steals your clothes and then he bargains you to get him back.
Yeah, I was like,
why don't you just meet me at this this club? I'll give you your shirt back.
Yeah.
Well,
because he was like, oh, does like Friday work for you? And I was like, I have shows, but I'll get back to you. And then I just never got back to him because I forgot.
You gotta. You said I thought you had a good idea. Was like just send him Venmo him money and have him ship it to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to see your dumbass again. He was
Yeah, I
annoying.
think that's the move.
He was just like annoying. That's the thing with hot people. I can't stand them. It's like
No
it's
personality.
Fun. No personality. And like the fucking's fine, but all right. Like,
I mean,
you're hot. Cool.
It's crazy the way you've described this guy. Oh, this was the thing. Did he have? You told me posters unframed
Yeah.
on the wall. I mean, come on. Did
Yeah,
he have a
and
flag?
No, he didn't have a flag,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of stuff that looked like cheap hotel decorations, like in Florida or something.
Yeah, stripper
he had a lot
pole.
of tropical shorts hanging, and I was like, this fucking guy. Ew.
He had like a fake palm tree, didn't he? No?
Not that
He
I
showed me a
recall.
picture, and I
He
swear
had
to
a
God, I thought
bar.
there was a palm tree.
There, I opened the fridge and it was like all booze,
Oh
and there's one frozen pizza in the freezer, and I was like, I guess I'm eating that. But like, my God, what the fuck is wrong with this man?
I
Truly,
legit think that that's not
fucking
where
mad.
he lives. I think he's probably
It's like
got
a
a
burner
family,
apartment.
and that's his burner apartment.
Remember,
that
he
he
said he
parties
had
in.
kids.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you're wrecking families now? You two are two peas in a pod over here.
no, he's not married. He just
No.
has kids.
He said, I think he was lying, but he said the girl at the bar that they had kids together.
Yeah,
I think
which
they
was
were
not
lying.
true because she was like in her 20s and he was in his 30s.
So, okay, let's go back to her. So she gets trashed out drunk. Did you guys just like throw her in a trash pile? What happened to her?
I mean,
Like, that's kind of a
throw
New
her
York
on the
move.
street. We put her in an Uber home,
Oh, that's
Oh,
safe.
okay, that's cool.
and she was looking at me like, "Don't." No, she was drunk, but it was like she was upset. There was at one point she looked over and we were kissing, and she looked so mad.
Wow.
And I was like, sorry. It's just, I was like, because at
Ruined
one point she
multiple
was
families.
like, this is like my sugar daddy or whatever. And I was like, okay, so like a weird, sketchy situation. You're going back to
Yeah.
Canada tomorrow. You don't really know this dude. She was just seemed to be really possessive and was upset. And the thing is, I was dressed like a fucking dude. So it was really funny. I was mainly paying attention to her because that was the like objective, right? Is this really hot girl came up, and I was like, okay, hot guy, tag along. This is gonna be fun. But then she just got wasted, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
stayed at
what
the
do you
bar.
want me to do? And you busted my knee. I was kind of pissed. I was like,
Man, damn. Yeah, that half invite really upset me. I was like, I guess I'll just fucking sit here like a fucking
it would have been
loser.
so fun if you had come.
Oh my God, I should have. Now I wish I did.
I appreciate the half invite because I've had like people that are either dating or not dating. They're like dead serious. They're like, no, come. I'm like, dude, I'm very honest. I'm like, I would never come. There's nothing I would rather not do.
Kerrigan, do you fuck people after shows?
No, I try to stay. I'm a Christian here. I'm trying to stay clean.
Right. You said you wish you were a virgin. That's so funny.
Yeah, but no, I try to. I'm not a perfect person here, but I'm not trying to become like a one of these man whores.
Have you
because-
ever met someone after a show?
Yeah, I mean,
So why are you so judgmental, dude?
judgmental about what?
Because he's wearing linen.
I was
He
talking
thinks he's
about
better than me.
judgmental about what? You guys hooking up with couples?
No,
That
just,
was like a
you meet someone
one-time
after a show.
thing.
I'm not judgmental of you guys doing that.
Casually, just keep
Seems like
texting
you are.
while we're on the
I'm
fucking
sorry,
podcast. No
I'm
big
sorry,
deal.
I'm sorry. Just,
No, I'm trying to think. I used to meet when I was doing LOL. You'd meet a lot of women.
Yeah.
At LOL, and I never went home with anyone. I went back to one girl's hotel, but we didn't end up hooking up. She was like had a kid, and
you
That-
just
that's-
talked about her kid.
So what did you do?
I left pretty quick. But no, I don't want to get. You could easily get caught up, and that's kind of like a comics thing. It's like becomes an addiction.
What?
Just hooking up after like you can, especially if you're doing well, you can do that every night.
It's true.
If you're at a
It's
hot
true.
club, right? And then you're
Sure.
then you're like one of those empty sex addicts. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's like a sex
Jeez.
addiction.
Do you hear all the
He's like,
judgment in his
"Jeez."
voice?
Yeah, it's so dark. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I'm just looking for love, dude.
No, not even. To me, it is like maybe an emptier thing than like dating because it does feel like a sport where I feel like this person, because I don't take it seriously because I'm always like, this person just saw me on stage and thinks of me as like, oh, you're like famous. I'm like, no, but I'll fuck you.
You know what's funny? Every person that I've met after a show, it started like, because they see you at like your best, right? Every person I've always met after a show, after a few dates, it always fizzles out.
Of course, because the illusion goes away and you're no longer like a star. They're like star fucker people.
And then I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, do you want to go out? And I'm like, well, I have 3 shows tonight, but I can meet you at 11:30.
You can
and
go
they're
to
like,
another show.
well, this is not what I wanted with this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, I think people with regular lives, like sometimes we're talking like buddies back home or whatever, and they think it's just, they're like, you're just, it's just a nonstop party. Yeah. You can get to a level where if you were at hot clubs, it's kind of a little bit different now. I don't think the clubs are as hot, but you could be killing it every night of the week.
Yeah.
But then they see you one night at like, one of these bar shows where it's like one guy in your bomb and they're just, they can't even make eye contact with you. Like, this loser. Dude.
Yeah, you're like, it's not as glamorous. I never pretended like it was glamorous. You're just a dumbass.
Yeah, and they work these office jobs. So when you work an office job, you got to imagine that there's something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is the dream, though, to get in. Like, if you were doing the Cellar 7 nights a week, it is kind of like that. And you got fans coming, stalkers and all that, which is great.
Stalkers.
Well, dude, that girl that I met that I was hanging out with for a little bit, she saw me crush on a show in Astoria, and then we were hanging out a couple times, and then saw me, like, came to meet me and saw me do a not great show at LES, and it ended pretty soon after that.
Yeah, inviting a girl to an LES show, you got to have a lot of confidence in yourself, big guy.
Absolutely. My God.
I mean, it was fine. It just wasn't as good as the first time.
Yeah, it's a 12-seater
like,
bar.
It wasn't a bomb. I just,
You kind of, a lot of people.
I gave it a lot of effort.
You kind of got to like kill every time. That's what they want. They're like, you just, people like rolling in the aisles, like spitting their drinks out laughing.
Yeah.
Which is the goal, but, it's not always a reality.
No.
Sometimes you get in arguments with fans over Pete Davidson. You start screaming at them.
Yeah, that's
they're wrong.
Mike's move.
He seems so emotionally volatile.
There's a lot of, it's with these, there's a lot of skinny white guys now that are famous because they date women. You know what I mean? And I don't care, but that doesn't make you funny. That was my argument. So I asked them, I go, what do you think is funny? And they're like, he's nice to his girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, you're the problem, lady. That would be like, why do I like this female comedian? Dude, she's so funny. Her tits are so big. Every time I see her, they're just huge. That makes her funny. You know what I mean? It's just, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Men and women.
Unfortunately, I don't think people who don't do comedy can really like pinpoint what is funny about a person because they don't know they don't have the language.
And SNL's been bad for so long. I think people who don't watch
back-to-back episodes where Mike's
stuff,
trashing SNL, which I don't disagree with,
SNL,
but we're back on it.
We're on the show.
It's a horrible show.
It is horrible. But like, imagine if you grew up with the new SNL. You're like, that's what funny is. You go up, it's unfunny, and then you're just famous for some reason.
Yeah.
We grew up.
Because Pete Davidson is like a personality. That's what his
thing
is.
Yeah, he's a cultural. Yeah, that's what he is. He's a professional dater. If he stops dating, it's over for him. They know that. I'm sure his agent's like, you gotta get a new whore to date. You gotta date this other bimbo.
You gotta get a new whore.
Mike's been very jujudgmental this episode.
Well, yeah, why do you
what's
want
the deal,
people
dude?
not to have sex? What is wrong with you?
Well, Kim Kardashian's new thing is she has this thing out where she's and I don't mind her. Usually I think she's people say she's dumb. I think she's smart, but she's like, oh, they're going to bring out another sex tape. They're going to leak it. They've been holding it over my head for 20 years. But the reality was her and her mom made a deal with the porn industry for the first one. So it's all bull.
Yeah.
And
I love when
she's redoing it again. I'm like, we all know that you made this on purpose. If anything, Ray J didn't want to be involved.
Ray J confirmed. Ray J confirmed, right? Yeah, he confirmed that it was all.
He said some shit recently. He was like, "This is the biggest lie in like entertainment history," and I was like,
and she's crying about it. You know, what I mean?
Having that thing on the newest season. I don't watch that
Kanye
show.
got me the hard drives.
He got it back for me. I was like, "This is bullshit." Oh
like
my
Kanye's
God.
like running around apartments, like scaling balconies, and he's like, "I'm gonna save the honor of my wife."
Jesus.
Honor is. Forget about it, right?
Oh God. Okay.
It's not even honor when you got $1 billion.
It's not even brought up in our society. Honor, right?
No, not anymore. That doesn't matter at all anymore. I don't think. Because it's like all press is good press now, literally. People just get like famous as fuck for doing really dumb shit. And it's like people hate them, but they still get the engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There is a double-edged sword. Like, you don't want to be Island Boy famous because it's all hate. Like me, it's
all
like
people
extreme
what the fuck
hate.
is this?
Yeah.
They have
This
them
is
on the
dumb shit.
podcast to just grill those two clowns.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Julia Fox, that Uncut Gems, that girl. Yes. Yeah. Like,
I shaped it
famous
myself.
Dude, people forget how quick things change. There was a group way before you were born, Ruth, called Milli Vanilli. And what these guys did is they got caught lip syncing. Dude, one of the guys killed himself. And I was alive at the time. Like, people wanted them dead. They wanted them, like, it was like,
Are you serious?
Are they going to bring them to, are they going to go to jail over this? Because they were lip syncing. You know, and it was actually some other one singing these songs. Like, nowadays, everybody's
That's
lip
normal.
syncing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
But that was
One
the
of them-
difference.
How did he kill himself?
But dude, the hate, I can't explain. It's hard to explain the amount of hate they got. It was like, it was vitriol hate. Like, you lied to us. Like, nobody's getting away with this. I don't know. Eventually it just got to him. You know what I mean? It's
How'd
kind
he
of
do
like
it? I
Vanilla
can
Ice.
imagine,
Vanilla
yeah.
Ice got so much hate for,
He's still alive though, right?
Yeah.
he killed it.
He's
like
doing great. He's
I think he
been in
owned
Adam
his
Sandler
rights.
movies. Yeah.
He did something smart business-wise where he owned his rights.
No, dude, he got sued.
Oh, he got sued by David Bowie, right?
I think he got sued by everybody. He got sued by who was the was it U2?
No, David Bowie. That's where he got
Not you
that
two.
song from.
Bum,
It was
bum,
David
bum, bum,
Bowie
bum, bum.
and the guy
Bum,
from
bum,
Queen.
bum, 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 bum.
Oh,
Queen,
yeah,
Queen.
yeah.
Not U2. Yeah.
But somehow he
Bum,
came
bum,
up on
bum,
top
bum.
money-wise. I don't remember why. Maybe he invested. Because usually you hear those behind the music stories and the guys, like, they show him working at McDonald's, which I always get mad at. I'm like, it's other people who work at this, like, same jobs, they hate them. Like, when you're a celebrity and you've fallen, this is how they get you. It's always the same picture. It'll show them taking garbage out at, like, their house, like any other normal person. Like, look at this piece of crap. Look at his life. It's like, yeah, he's taking garbage out in the morning.
Have you ever had a real bad job?
Have I had a bad
Yeah.
job?
Or always good jobs?
No, I mean I started as a dishwasher, and that was pretty intense.
What was that like?
It's horrible because
At a restaurant or
at
fast
a
food?
restaurant that was connected. It was in a hotel and they had an events hall as well.
Oh, that's
So
pretty.
I was the sole dishwasher for the restaurant and events. So occasionally, like it would be like a Saturday night, the restaurant would be full, and there was like a wedding or a graduation thing, and I would be surrounded by piles of dishes. No shit, like I was like 12 years old with piles of dishes around me, and I was just like, this is fucking insane. I would just work myself to the bone. It was really like a great first job though,
Yeah.
because I worked myself up to prep cook, and that felt like super easy.
That's pretty cool.
Like
How-
super hard. I was getting paid $7.25 an hour too.
Damn.
So I'd just bust my ass and make nothing.
How bad is it at the end of the night when you've been doing dishes? How you're soaking wet.
Soaking
I used
wet.
to walk home and just, and
You
I
wash
would be,
dishes too?
I've washed multiple times, and we had like the spray hose. So like, if you wanted to like protect yourself, you'll never get through it. So you just
Nope.
give up, and you're just blasting, just getting like
Totally
steam.
wet food. I remember first starting and being like, I think touching wet food
Yeah.
is gross.
Oh.
By the end, you're just grabbing it and like throwing it. It doesn't even matter. God, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
a really
brutal.
brutal
You take a
job.
whippets in the freezer.
No, I was a kid, and that's the thing. My mom was really
Yeah, so
worried
was I.
about me being around like grown men in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But they were all super nice to me. Honestly, I'm lucky that I don't have like a weird story.
Did you ever see them doing drugs or anything?
I saw them smoking weed a little bit, but the thing is like I lived in a small town, and they all knew my brothers from high school. They had gone to school with my brothers, and so it was like, that's like George Allen's little sister. Like, don't
Oh shit.
fuck with her. Not like he was gonna like beat their ass or something, but it was like, no, we like
yeah.
that guy, and that's his little sister, so don't be a dick. So that was nice, but
So
really hard job.
And you grew up in Minnesota.
Yeah, Stillwater.
That's what I had no
Minnesota.
idea about that.
Where is
That's
it called?
cool.
Stillwater.
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Okay, cool.
Was it a big town? Small town?
Super small. I think like less than 15,000 people for the population. But I'm not sure.
Damn.
Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It
Yeah,
might
all
be
Stillwater's
like
coming
whatever
after
the
you.
fuck.
Hey,
Yeah.
you guys, what's Minnesota known for? 1,000 lakes or something?
10,000 lakes? Yeah.
That's off by
Super
a lot.
cold.
Yeah.
Hockey.
Cold as fuck, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
God. We used to have days off school because the temperature was too low. It was like if you're
Pretty cool.
outside for more than 5 minutes, you will get nerve damage. So we're just gonna call it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of like, how did you grow up? What kind of like childhood, like high school did you have?
Horrible childhood. I was really poor, and I have 6 siblings. So.
Are you the youngest?
Yeah.
Wow. 5 older brothers, sisters, and
I
brothers?
have 3 older brothers and 3 older sisters, so I'm the youngest of 7.
Holy shit.
I know.
In Minnesota.
Gross.
That's that Midwestern.
The thing is everybody else was from upstate New York. My family moved to Minnesota for my dad's job. He was in radio, so like
Damn.
NPR bullshit. Yeah, but growing up in Minnesota was pretty cool. I liked it. It's a good state. And the Minneapolis comedy scene's very good.
Oh, so you were there that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I started there, and then I moved here during the pandemic.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did I first meet you? I felt like I've known you for a while now. Must have been Hustle.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably Lower East Side or the Bedford location, because I don't know. We don't run into each other a lot besides that.
Yeah, it must have been Bedford.
I was hosting, probably. You're like, I don't remember you hosting. That was like.
No, I just always remember kicking it with you. I never realized you were hosting. That's not a good sign on my behalf.
Mike's just not
It's
paying
not a good
attention
sign.
ever.
Oh,
You were still
man.
hard in weed, though. You were still smoking weed, probably.
Oh, yeah, I was smoking a lot
Have you
back
quit?
Mm-hmm.
then. Yeah, been off weed for a while.
Oh,
Totally
She's
sober.
so she's like,
congratulations.
this guy's out. He's not cool.
Back
No,
on
not
whippets,
at
but
all.
off weed.
Back on whippets.
No, hell no. No more whippets,
Yeah.
dude. You can't be doing whippets forever.
I
Did
did
you ever get in
whippets.
trouble when you were younger?
Did I get in
Yeah,
trouble? A lot.
Really?
So much.
So you were a misfit, or
Yeah,
you
I
acted
was a
out?
delinquent for sure.
Yeah, I
I
hear
got in
that.
trouble all the time. I was banned from a lot of people's houses.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What kind of stuff?
As
did you
like
do?
a kid, like
Shit.
5 to 10
fuck.
years
Ruth-
old, they
Ruth
were
can't
like,
come over.
Ruth Allen is not allowed at the house, because I would convince other kids to like destroy shit
Nice.
and
I
like
love it.
rob their siblings and like bury shit in the yard, like really weird shenanigans. But I mean, like, I don't know. I think I still have like a mischievous streak, which is not great.
Yeah,
Listen.
you're a rascal. That's what I say. I always go, Ruth's a rascal.
Dude, when I told Mike, I was like, "Oh, I talked to Ruth. She's gonna do the pod." He goes, "Oh, she's got
Ruth's the
got
type
some
of-
stories."
Ruth's the type of girl that I'd walk into a bodega with, make eye contact with, as she's like stealing, and be like, "Don't say anything." I'm like, "I'm a grown up. I can't be involved in this
100%.
anymore."
100%.
You ever been somewhere where someone like they put you on? They're just you look over and you're like, "Dude, you're stealing."
Yes, dude.
You
Oh
steal?
my God. Dude, of course, but like within reason.
Okay.
Not from small businesses.
Yeah. Okay. You're not doing B&Es. What are you doing?
You gotta have like, I don't know, if I'm in like a Target and I want something that's like small, I'll just take it. Whatever. Never mind.
No, I love this. This
I got
is great.
I
Keep
got a
going.
guy that always tells me, he's like, Mike, this is a younger kid. He always good friend of mine. He always comes up to me and he's like, dude, I got this thing. You need to do it. I'm like, what? He's like, stealing, bro. You got to start stealing. I'm like, dude, I'm not
You have to
stealing
start
here.
stealing.
He always tells me like it's a new thing he's discovered. He's like CVS, Rite Aid. He's like, it's almost like he's like, they
God.
want you to steal.
It's like they want you to steal. They're not going to stop you, too, is the thing. If you steal from like a bigger store, they have a policy where it's like they don't want to make a scene because it'll make the brand look bad or something. So they'll just watch you walk out.
No, I quit stealing when I had a problem with stealing when I was around like 7th and 8th grade. We were kleptomaniacs, and my friends bought jackets specifically with pockets to steal. So like we weren't even stealing for need. We were stealing to see who could get the most. Like
What
like
is
a
it about
game.
that time? 7th to 8th grade, I also was a klepto.
such a bad. Like one time, I even robbed a truck at school. They were delivering like the food, and they had these JJ crisps. They were what do you call them? Like Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
2 cases. Dude, it's like this big. Like I had it on my shoulder.
Hell yeah.
We had an abandoned
Kerrigan's
bathroom. We
just-
were stashing things in. I'm trying to think. Then you know how I quit stealing? I got caught at Newberry Comics. No, Tower Records. I was stealing CDs. I used to carry razors on me so I could cut off the security tags.
Smart.
And there was a skinhead there, looking at music, and turns out he was an undercover.
Oh.
So he bagged us. And I was like, dude, because he's supposed to be this like skinhead. I'm like, dude, you ain't cool, bro. Let us go.
Yeah, cool. Fuck
And then he let you go.
No. My other buddy who had a nanny, even though he was old, they still had a nanny.
Yeah.
She picked us up and we convinced her. I'm like, just don't tell. And she's like, all right, absolutely. But then she did. And my dad was I thought he was gonna beat the hell out of me that time. I really did.
Sure.
So I quit stealing cold turkey.
Stealing is very stressful. I will say I barely ever do it anymore because it makes me feel intense. That's what I was arrested for.
And you're
So
you're also
okay,
an
okay.
adult now, so like
I'm an adult. Yeah, it's like if you go, it's so embarrassing. Like it can fuck up your shit. If you get a stealing charge, it's like bad.
Yeah, super embarrassing. I would be
Super
more embarrassed where
embarrassing.
the cop is like, "How old are you?"
Because
And
that's
you're
the
just
thing,
like,
is when they caught me, they were like, "Why were you stealing or whatever?" And I thought it was like a moral question. So I started to like pontificate. I was like, well, I just thought like I don't even remember exactly what I said, but they were like, oh, no. They like stopped me. They're like, no. We were just asking like, could you not afford it? And I was like, well, yeah, no shit, I can't afford it. But like, I thought you were saying like, how could you do this to us? But it was really funny. Anytime that I've been in trouble with the police, I really know my white privilege because they look at me like it's the saddest shit ever. They're like, oh, we don't want to do this to you. I'm like, I'm an asshole. Like, I actually, like, nail me to the wall. I stole all the time. Like, as a teenager, my friends and I would, like, fill carts up and just walk out with it. Because it was like, what are you going to do? Stop me?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so when I got caught stealing, it was just like, I was just taking the groceries to make dinner or whatever. And it was just like, I didn't feel like paying for it. And so it was just like, oh, my fucking God. It felt really embarrassing.
That's actually that's the best thing to get caught stealing, though.
Yeah.
Is being like, you're a kid and you're like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm
but I had just
shocked they
turned
didn't
18,
let you go.
so it was
that
like,
sucks.
it was pretty bad.
That
And I
blows.
had to go to court. And that was embarrassing. And I felt bad for my mom. Like, she's such a nice lady. And she was just like, what the fuck is the matter with you? And it was so depressing. Like, I got into the, like, court thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, did you, like, this is you or whatever? And I was like, yeah. They were trying to get in my head about it.
I mean, did
They
you
were
have
like,
a
"This is
lawyer?
No,
Why are you
the thing is,
answering questions?
Yeah, I
Why?
was
Jesus
speaking,
Christ!
Instead of like talking to a judge, they put me in a room with a lawyer, with like the prosecution or whatever. And I was like, I don't have any representation, whatever. I'll just talk to you.
What are you, an idiot?
And the guy was like, no. It worked out totally in my favor
Okay.
because I look like this.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, listen, when I was in the Navy, I drank a lot. Okay, we all do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? It was very bizarre. He let me off with like basically a slap on the wrist where
That's
it
good.
wasn't on my record. I had to pay like a $50 fine.
So
and
you were
the
never arraigned on it.
No, I never
That's
had
great.
it on my record.
That's
It was
very-
like if I got caught stealing within a year, I would have had it on my record permanently.
They would open it back
Yeah,
up
but
again.
I
That's
didn't
great.
do it again because I was like, fuck that. That was so embarrassing. And when I paid the fine, the woman was like, you realize he really did you a favor here. He really could, like, this could have fucked up your life. You wouldn't have been able to get an apartment. Like, you wouldn't have been able to get a job. And I was like, I didn't know that it was that serious. It was like teenagers just steal and are dumb as shit. So I was like,
Yeah, it was. What was it called? We had one in Massachusetts. It was called diversion.
diversion?
Diversion. Diver. Yeah. SION.
Well, I think
And
de Blasio pretty much legalized
Called
stealing.
that,
He was
like
like,
pretrial
just steal.
diversion.
I remember AOC told, she's like, go out and steal. She was like, it's your right.
Just lose
Unless you're
some
white. She was like, if
places.
you're not white, you should be stealing. I'm like, this is not the right message.
No.
It's like under $900. You can't be. That's why San Francisco and those areas are like, they're shutting down all their businesses because the guys are like, I've seen a guy in a bag,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, wait, this one goes back. This is under the limit.
yeah.
There's a limit you can steal without getting charged.
Grand larceny? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
the
like
term?
you'll be out
Petty
in 20
larceny?
minutes.
Yeah.
Under a certain amount, it's a misdemeanor. Over, it's a felony.
Mm-hmm.
Vary state by state what the
Oh my God.
amount is.
Yeah.
That's
Scary.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
is
was embarrassing.
That
It's
is
not a good getting arrested story, too.
It's a really bad habit. Because
It is, because you just get used to it. And you're like,
you don't think, like, I think me and you had the same attitude. My attitude in 8th grade was like, I wasn't stealing from people. I was stealing from like corporations. I'm like, I hate these, Walgreens people. You know what I mean? They're up in their boardroom just living it up. And we're like, I'm taking this box of gum
yeah.
that I don't need. And we'd
Totally.
hand it out a lot of times. We'd just be handing out goods.
Totally.
you're like Robin Hood.
Yeah, we're like Robin. But then you do realize, like, when I got busted and it hit, and like my dad was like, I felt like a disgrace.
Yeah.
Because we're
absolutely.
hardworking people, but I wasn't thinking like I'm stealing. I was like, I'm just stealing from these mega businesses.
That's
Yeah.
what the thing was, is I was like, that's why I answered the question of like, how could you do this in a moral sense? Because I was like, because fuck you guys. Like, I don't have like anything against taking from a multi-million-dollar corporation. Like, oh, what, I took like some like groceries literally for dinner.
Yeah,
oh, that's gonna fuck you guys up. But I also like worked at a Target and I saw how much shit they threw away every single day. So a resentment built up because of that, where I was like, you can take the hit. Like, I'll just take the groceries.
I've seen videos now of like a lot of these people. This one guy got fired because he worked at 7-Eleven and his boss made him throw out all these like perfectly, like they weren't expired, but they got a new shipment in, so they had to throw all the old food away. It was like 3 or 4 garbage bags of freshly packaged sandwiches, eggs, all this shit that was so good. And he made a TikTok being like, this is where I'm at. My boss is making me throw it away. I'm putting it separately. There's no other garbage mixed in. And it went like super viral, like, you know, millions and millions of views. And then he got fired for it. But he was like, I'm going to keep doing this.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
I went the other way, though, afterwards. When I like never stole from jobs I worked at. And I worked like those crappy jobs where all my friends were just pillaging the registers.
Oh, that's wild.
I would never steal money. That shit scares me.
Dude, one kid I worked with.
Yeah, that's another level.
I think they put him in charge because he was taller than the rest of us. I looked young, which I had people tell me, like, you look too young.
You almost got molested at 35.
Yeah. This was in high school, right? So this kid, they put him in charge of us, and I was like, you idiots. This guy is the worst of our whole crew. First night there. First of all, no work ethic, like everything bad that you could want in an employee. They put him in charge, so he had the keys. He just steals all the money out of the safe, you know, the whole money, not like everything. Just leaves it open. He wasn't even covering his tracks. Somehow they called his parents, you know, and he had a real attitude. He's like, nope. Cops came to his house. He just bullshits him. He's like, wasn't me. And he got away with it because, like, the feds or something happened where the main lady was really stealing from the corporation.
Whoa.
So like he just got mixed up in the thing.
Layers.
Store went under for a little while. They reopened, hired all of us back again, including him. And like that was what I used to write on job applications and in person. They would say, well, what, you know, I'm talking about like working at bagel places. Yeah. They'd be like, so what do you bring to the table? I go, listen, this is what I do. I will be here on time and I won't steal. I wouldn't give them any, like, the, you know, they're like, oh, I want to move my way up the ladder so I can be a psycho like you. Yeah. And they didn't like the fact that I just, like, because that's the truth. I'm like, I'll be here on time. I'll do my job, nothing more, and I'm not stealing from you. That should be enough.
That should be enough.
Because I'm like, okay, you can hire this dickhead who just wrote you a poem, and he's already planning on stealing.
Yes.
That is wild. I used to work at the beach in high school, and I would never do it because I was fucking too scared. But we used to sell tickets to the fucking parking lot, and people used to like steal tickets and then like just pocket the cash.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I know.
Because you make so much money. I never did it though.
It's like $20 a ticket, right?
Pussy.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, you know what's fucked up? We used to do this. It was on Long Island, of course, and it was private beach. And it doesn't sound fucked up, but residents used to be able to pay less for a sticker, and non-residents had to pay. It was crazy. You weren't allowed to buy a season pass if you were a non-resident, but for a daily, you had to pay like 3 times the amount. So it went from like a $10 for a daily to like $35 for a daily, and a season pass was like $50, but you weren't allowed to do it. And then in practice, I remember I was like, oh, it's all these guys who are coming in from like Queens, and they won't let them buy a resident, and then they charge them like 4 times the amount. And I was like, oh, that's a little fucked up.
It is weird that the beach is privatized. It's like, dude, God made the beach. You can't claim to own the beach.
God made the beach.
I've gotten in arguments. I was swimming in a lake one time, and they're like, you can't be in this lake. It's a private lake. I'm like, how do you this is the problem the Native Americans had with us. Okay? It's like, how do you claim, oh, the river's yours now?
Oh.
It's like, you got to pay us to drink out of this river. Mm-hmm. It's like, you didn't make the river.
Dude.
God made the river.
Exactly. Dude. I'm very Native American like that. I like that.
I have enough Native American that it counts.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the exact percentage.
It must be really high then.
I know. It's like whatever. But my grandfather looked very Native American. It was cool. He was
really
an amazing, very serious face.
Do you have any family who is like on reservations or like that Native American?
No, I'm not close with my family at all. So if there was, I mean, I would love to like find out about that. But
Oh, your extended family?
I think family
Or,
is
like,
annoying. Yeah.
Are you close with your immediate family?
No.
Really?
Dude, I thought that what they should have done was the way things went.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I just, everyone's
No,
different.
I'm close with my mom and like a couple of my siblings. For the most part, there's such like a huge age gap that we didn't grow up together.
Yeah.
And I'm very independent and just feel like, why bother? What are we going to talk about?
Do you hacky sack?
No.
I don't know. You just got a vibe. She's like, when she said independent, I'm like, she's got a hacky sack on her.
My brother George hacky sacked when I was a kid. He was always burning incense.
Yeah, that's
Was
to
he
cover
high?
up the
Hacky
smell
sack.
of...
Yeah, oh yeah, he was high as
smell
shit.
of
He was
weed.
selling drugs for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what leads to hacky. Does hacky sacking lead to weed or weed to hacky sacking?
It's a chicken and the egg
I used to
situation.
hacky sack, and it was definitely because I was high.
That's
You know?
fucking hilarious.
Non-high, I would never be in the courtyard at school like hacky sacking.
Oh, dude. I mean, I used to want to get really good at hacky sacking.
I had buddies
Used to
who were good
practice.
at it.
Honestly, that makes sense for you. I can see that.
Okay, really. What the fuck's going on here? What are we doing?
Okay. You just said that I have a hacky sack vibe. Isn't that a good vibe?
No.
Okay.
No,
Dude, I
it is.
remember at one point.
I think it's a great vibe.
This is a weird thing. I don't know if I think I was in high school. Definitely weed influence thing. I was like, dude, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get real good at yo-yoing. And I had a yo-yo.
We went through that phase too.
Same
Me and my
thing.
friends, we all
And
go through that
dude,
phase.
I had like no tricks. You know what I mean? I could do like, I could just about do it.
Dude, we went through so
But
many
what
of
was
those
my
phases.
plan? Like, dude, I was gonna come in and just be like the yo-yo
Do the
master.
dog walking thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever do
Remember
the
that
sticks? The sticks that you bounced back and
Fuck
forth?
no.
Oh, I did
Fuck
those too.
no. Oh.
No drugs for me, just all these weird fucking...
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is weird.
To
Yeah.
sober do that.
Yeah, dude, I was very a great hand-eye coordination. I could juggle. I could do that shit.
I'm just really coordinated. Okay.
It's
Or,
no
like
weed.
start swallowing flames. Like,
Yeah,
you ever seen one
swords,
of those
dude.
people?
Yes, I knew people who did like the
Flamethrowing.
flame throwing shit. They were
So
all
weird.
so annoying.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Because they
Yeah.
thought it was the coolest shit.
All right, who influenced you, or what influenced you to get into comedy?
I loved Louis C.K. as a kid.
Oh no shit.
Nice.
Yep. The first comic that I ever saw was Bill Cosby, and that was like, I don't know, my family loved him, and we would watch him all the time. And for some reason, like, I just, you know how as a kid you have these dumb ideas? I
Yeah.
thought he was just the one guy who did it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and since it was really clean and shit, like I didn't ever think it was something that I could do. It seemed very unapproachable and just like, oh, this silly guy tells stories. And then I saw Louis later and was like, oh my god, it can be different, and
Yeah.
you can tell like fucked up stories. It doesn't have to be like when I was at the dentist or whatever. And I just loved Louis a lot, and was watching other comics, but like he was the person that I always went back to because I like the
Yeah.
juxtaposition between like family stories and really dirty stuff and being super honest but also lying.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. And then I saw his show and was just like, fuck.
His shows are so brilliant.
Yeah,
The
and
way
I
he
wanted
does
to
it.
be an actor as a kid. And so I went to performing arts high school and then took acting classes and was like, yeah, I don't really fuck with anything that's not funny. And I found like the acting classes to be really pretentious and a waste of time. So then I started stand up when I turned 21 and it went well. So I've been
Hell
doing
yeah.
it.
Where was your
That's
first
great.
time at a club?
Yeah, I went up for the first time at Acme Comedy Club at their Monday open mic.
Dude, I've heard about that place. It was good, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was pretty sick. And that's actually the first place that I met Louis because he came to
Oh, get out.
headline there
Fuck yeah.
after he was Me Too'd. And that was such like a cool thing because I had seen him in 2016 at the Target Center. But what was excellent about him being Me Too'd is it put him in smaller rooms.
Excellent
smaller
for
rooms.
not great for him,
me,
but great
yeah.
for people who wanted to see him. Yeah.
I was like, this is so much fucking better, dude. I was like, this is amazing. Because seeing him in an arena, it's like, I never felt like arena really fit his vibe. And the second, like, when he released I think it was 2017 was the name of the special.
Yeah.
And he was in a suit in an arena.
Yeah.
I was like, he's lost the plot. Like, what the fuck? I was like, get him back in a t-shirt and jeans. I don't know where his head is at, but this
Dude,
is...
you put his fucking outing into the universe.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
Get
I was
him
like,
back,
this
get him
sucks,
back down,
you
get him back
know?
down to earth.
Yeah, and to watch him in such a small room and he looks so beaten down, it's really nice to see.
No, because a buddy of mine met him during that time period, Artie.
Dude, well, when we were in Boston, because that's how I know Mike. We started in Boston, and Mike had left. He was in the city, but we ran a bunch of shows there. And I remember at the height of Louis, like the height, I think it was the year before he put out 2017 or the year he was putting it out. I remember it was about a month or two before he did SNL for either the last time or second to last time. He came to Boston. The last stop he did was at the Wang Theater in Boston. And Joe List was opening for him, right? Yeah. And my buddy had a loose kind of, acquaintance with him. So I was like, hey, he had opened for him a couple times or done a couple shows with him. And they were talking on the pod about how they would come and do these shows and he'd always bring Louis. And I was like, dude, text Joe and see if he'll do a show, because we had these bar shows. And we got them. It was Valentine's Day. We got them to do a late show, and we convinced the bar to do a late show. And Joe was coming to headline, and I go, dude, believe me, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Just hold the faith. I did a show before with Artie. This show called Hot Queso. It was like a 10-seater. We used to have to. It was terrible. We used to have to tell people not to order the fajitas because it would smoke the room out.
Oh my God.
It was so bad. And I literally am driving there. I get a text from my buddy Luke, and he's like, sends me a screenshot from Joe, and he was like, hey, I'm on my way. Is it cool if I bring Louis?
Of course.
And we were just
question.
Jaw dropping. He came. The room sat probably 60 people, jammed in this basement bar. There was probably 100 people there on the stairs.
I was there too.
Fucking rocked.
Really?
Dude.
Yeah, I can't stand Louis, and I was there.
And it was fucking awesome.
I was in the stairs. Everyone was loving it, and I'm like, I hate
You're
this shit.
Fuck this.
It was awesome, dude.
Fucking
It was
guy.
such a
Why
fucking
do you not
moment,
like-
man.
That
it
sounds
was
amazing. That sounds great.
Luke. I think Luke hosted. I did time. Higginbottom did time, and then Joe, and then Joe brought up Louis right at the end.
Yeah.
It was I think the secret's out. I think you all know Louis C.K. And he came,
Louis C.K.
and he did all the SNL stuff. Louis C.K. It was awesome. It was fucking great.
The thing is when I was at Acme, I went to every single show. It was 5 or 4 days or something. And on the last night, I wasn't able to get tickets to it. But I still hung out at the club.
Perfect.
And from watching each night, the first night I watched the openers because my buddy was hosting, and then I think Joe List and one other comic was featuring. But I was I'm not gonna watch the feature and the host every single night. I don't want to do that. But when I was sitting in the bar and he would come out and get water and kick it there for a second before he went up to headline, so I was I know that he's gonna be out in the bar when it's deserted. On the last night, I cornered him and was like, Mr. CK.
Oh my God. Oh no.
You're gonna hate this story. You don't like him, so this
I'm
doesn't
so
mean shit to you.
uncomfortable already.
No. Why is it uncomfortable?
No, I love it.
I was 21, super stoked, had been doing comedy for 4 months, and he was the reason why I started. And I was I'm never gonna forgive myself if I don't walk up to him and say something. And maybe I'll embarrass myself. Who gives a shit?
Fine.
But he was so nice.
No, I met him too. He is nice.
He's a very nice dude. He looked really scared when I first walked up to him because I was
Probably thought
Mr.
you were going to
CK.
scream at
Yeah,
him.
I was going to be you fucking dick, because people were outside protesting.
Get out of here.
The whole time. Yeah, which I was it was a
I
thing.
mean, you look like someone who would be you fucking piece of shit.
Absolutely, right? And
those
I was
glasses.
no, I walked past my friends on the picket line to come in here and support you, you bitch. Talk to me for a second, my God. I was had just started stand-up and was risking my whole reputation because it was tearing the Minneapolis comedy scene apart.
That's
It was
so
if you
funny.
go see this fucking show, you're a bitch. And it was a lot. So I was whatever, I'm going to talk to him. And I shook his hand, and I remember he has the softest hands I've ever felt my entire life, which literally almost made me burst out laughing in the moment. But I was damn. Anyway,
If you did laugh and said it, he would remember you forever.
I don't think so.
Yo, you got the softest hands I've
You got
ever
the
felt.
softest hands I've ever felt. He knows, I'm sure.
Yeah, dude, he's never done a day's hard work in his life. You can tell by him.
No, he seems whatever. But
That's fucking great.
he talked to me for a little bit, and he was how long have you been doing stand-up? And I was for an embarrassingly short amount of time. And he was it's not embarrassing. It's embarrassing out loud. And I was like 3 months, and he was like, see, that's so wonderful. I was like, yeah, I'm about to feature at a place for the first time. And he was like, that's awesome. Like, if I have any advice for you, just don't quit, you know? The only thing that I can tell you, just don't quit. And I was like, I really appreciate that. And there was like a couple other things that he said, but it was really nice because he gave me like a moment.
That's
instead of
great.
being like, nice to meet you, bye. He talked to me for a second and then went in, and I was outside with comics afterwards.
Yeah.
And they were all smoking weed, and I wasn't, because I can't like usually smoke weed and hang out with people and like continue to talk. And I'm just standing there, and he like it comes out and starts to walk up the stairs, and then stopped and turned around, and he was like, hey, Ruth. And they were all like, what the fuck? And I go, yeah. And he's like, if you're really serious about doing stand-up, you shouldn't smoke weed. And I was like, I'm not. They're smoking. I'm not. And he was like, sure. And went and got in a car and drove away. And they were like, did Louis just fucking talk to you? They were like, why does he know who you are? I was like, we just like hung out earlier. It was no big deal.
I love that.
That was like, people talked to me about that for a while.
That's so cool.
He made a moment. It was nice. Shout out Louis C.K. He's a piece of shit, but like he's a friend of the pod. Friend of the pod. But yeah,
I doubt it.
I mean, dude, I think you would.
You're like, I hate that.
No, I don't just like him because
listen, I love Louis, and
I've never liked his comedy. I've always that
is so wild to me.
Kerrigan would refer it to as crass.
Yeah, I met him my first year in comedy.
Why do you like my comedy?
Hey, we haven't even discussed that. We'll get into that later.
That's true. Okay.
No, I do like your comedy.
Thank you.
I met him somewhere at a club I was doing, and it was like the club that I decided I wanted to get into at Boston was the Comedy Connection.
Okay.
And I fielded out the other clubs. There was one in Cambridge, very liberal. I'm like, that isn't for me. This is the club where I'd like to get in. I had like my bringer kind of audition set, like if you did well. And I was doing one of my bits, and Louis laughed. Right? And I know that he was something he's like, I can't believe that guy said that, or I think that's stupid. He wasn't laughing because he thought it was funny.
How do you know that,
though?
I just felt that. But the booker seen Louis laugh. And when I got off stage, he goes, you can perform here anytime you want. And I was like, and I remember I was telling people about it. I'm like, dude, did pretty well at the Comedy Connection. They're like, oh yeah, man? Yeah, they're closed. They're going under in 2 weeks. And that was how comedy always went for me. Like,
I think you're in your head, dude. I think Louis probably genuinely did laugh at you.
I met him after. So we're hanging out because he was there when we were waiting to go up. He had popped in, and I didn't know it was Louis. And I'm sitting there, and I just look at this guy, bald guy, and he's wearing the gray sweats, that not the kind you wear out, the inside sweats. Gross. And I go, I hope I never end up like this poor bastard. And then I find out it's Louis. My friends are all there for my bringer. They all love Louis.
Yeah.
So it made their night. The audience went wild when we went on stage. And afterwards, my buddy loves him that I was hanging with all the time. And I asked him for an autograph. And he's like, well, what's your name? I go, it's not for me, dude. It's for so-and-so, my Jewish buddy. And he also laughed again. He's like, this dickhead. What an
I
idiot.
think he
It's
thinks
not for
you're
me. I
funny,
don't give a
dude.
shit about you.
And I want to go back now and look at Louis because I think the reason I don't like him is where he's coming from. I don't like.
Yeah.
But people love him so much. I'm like, his joke structure is probably brilliant. It's probably like a personal, I don't know what it is. Like I think he was real cool when I met him. Like he didn't have to be cool. When I met him, it was way before he got in trouble. He was huge. And the fact that he gave you advice, that's like something that I like comics who are like that.
Yeah.
They usually say the funniest comics are actually usually cool. Like you'll meet these nobody headliners, and they always will bring it up like, dude, I'm a headliner. I headline. I do 45 minutes. I do an hour. Mm-hmm. How long you been doing comedy? Oh, 6 years. That's you're whack. And then you watch the act and you're like, you're garbage. You're a trash person.
Yeah. It's because they're defensive. They know that they suck.
Yeah.
People who know that they're good don't need to like take you down a peg.
And usually when I meet those people, I'm like, you're on this show. You're not doing good. Yeah. I'm opening
We're
up
on
and
the same
I'm
show.
embarrassed. We're in the Bronx right now at a hookah lounge. We're probably gonna get threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How you feeling?
I feel good.
We do usually about an hour, but we're a little over. Sometimes we do more. If you do you have anything that you wanted to talk about? Anything you want to get out?
And plug everything that you're on, where we can see you.
Oh, I mean, well, I'm at Brooklyn Comedy Club a lot.
Are you there tonight?
Yeah.
I'm on the 11. Oh, yeah.
Bitch.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Sick.
Oh,
She's going to throw me down on the intro. She's like, and this dickhead doesn't even know that I host here. He's a white supremacist.
Are you hosting?
She's
You
a
hosting?
white supremacist. Yes, I'm hosting.
Nice.
I'm hosting. Should be good. I have some friends from out of town coming.
Fuck yeah.
So that's a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
your
pressure.
friends are always really fun and cool, the ones I've met.
Thank you.
And they always get drunk, and then I'm like, all right. Now
What
tell
is
me
it-
the
what
truth
was the one
about
like-
Ruth.
Oh,
here.
yeah. You were trying to, like, get Kristen to tell you stuff.
I wasn't trying to get her. I was trying to stop her. She was just open. She's like, Ruth taught me everything there is to know about sex. Like right off the top, I was like, this girl's, it wasn't even, I was like, she's going to be so blacked out.
She was so drunk,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Is she the one who yelled at the comic who was on stage?
no,
That was your other friend?
different. And she was not drunk. She's
Rattled.
yeah, because she said something about like introducing. She yelled introducing
She
so
just screamed
loud,
it.
and then he was like, "Yeah, see, people just think that you can like disrespect the comic on stage." And I was in the back like, "Holy shit!"
I looked.
was,
It sounded like someone screamed. I was like, what the fuck was that?
She yelled loud
And-
as
oh,
fuck,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Well, you know, whatever. At least I'm not
great.
up there right
Yeah.
now." It sucks.
Hilarious.
But I do. I mean, I have like another story from like audience member hookup if you want it. Not to be a one note person.
Oh, let's do it. I mean, always, hell yeah, let's get into it.
Because this was, what show was this? Oh, I think Bedford, and I went to like a bar with people afterwards.
Nice.
Because we were kicking it with one of the bartenders from Old Man Hustle, and she was like, "I don't want to drink at this fucking place."
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
gotta
"Yeah,
be
of course,
depressing.
let's leave." Yeah, you don't want to drink at
Drink
your
at
job.
your job, yeah.
So we
not
go
good.
across the street, and there's this guy who's like tall as fuck, really hot, pink hair, tatted up.
Yeah,
I
just
was
another
like,
Adonis
nice
for Ruth.
Yeah, I was like, nice. And the thing is, I saw him and was like, sick. And then was just talking to somebody else, but like it was bar closed, right? So they were about to kick everybody out.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, well, waste of time. And we're walking on the street, and he comes up to me and he's like, "I really like your glasses." And I was like,
Is these glasses? This is a new
Yes.
thing. These are like
"This is a
2
new
weeks
thing."
old.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
maybe like a week or something. I don't know. But
Jeez.
there's something about these glasses that make people really horny. I don't.
Those are rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
There's some sort of famous quote that I don't know, obviously.
Yes,
I'm gonna
it's
start
like
wearing
an
rose-colored
expression.
Yeah, they're like,
glasses.
you're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses.
And it's put me in such a better mood too. I
Really?
think, yeah. It's like
Can I try 'em on?
wearing them. Yeah, absolutely. I started wearing them as like a bit. I was like, I just like the glasses. Maybe it'll make me look like a douche, but the tint is like calming.
you look like you know what? You look like you're on Entourage with those on.
Serial killer
Yeah,
in the 70s.
no, you're the manager of our Entourage.
Yes.
He's like, this is Dylan. He's wheeling and dealing.
I'm going to start wearing these.
They're nice.
I'm going to get a pair
right?
of rose-colored
And
glasses.
see, even this, like,
Yeah,
the light
I'm
now
into it.
is very abrasive. I have very bad anxiety, so the rose color is soothing. So it's not
Yeah.
prescription, right? I don't need them to see, but I do need them to not feel suicidal.
Yeah, my this dog is actually not a medical dog, but I do need to bring him on the plane.
I do need him around. But yeah, anyway, the glasses
Yeah.
are pretty, like, kind of like a dick magnet in a way. I
Got
don't know
him
what's
going.
going on. But he was like, when I saw you come in, I was like, she's dripped up or whatever. And I was like, hilarious.
This
okay.
is all words that I'm not
really cool.
Yeah.
affiliated with.
These are
in
all
any
pickup.
way.
These are all
Like if
pickup
someone
lines.
was like, "Yo, man, you're
He's
mad
great.
dripped up," I'd be like, "All right, we're
You'd be like,
fighting."
He's
Good
he know
thing, bad thing.
he knows the
what?
game. Listen, he's complimenting you not on your look, but something specific to either your energy, your vibe, or
Exactly.
like if you have rings or if you have like something, your shirt, something you've put effort into.
Totally.
Of like, oh, that's a thing, not about physical appearance, but like about their vibe and their energy.
Absolutely. And I was into
trick.
it. I was like, he's very tall.
Yeah.
So I'm down to chat.
How tall?
Probably like 6'5".
Yeah, that's too tall.
Too tall. But we were outside talking, and we were both like, "Oh, I'm taking the L train." He was like, "Do you want to walk together?" And I was like, "Yes, I do."
Nice.
And then we get like halfway down the block, and I made some joke about like how it felt like we were cucking my friend. Because we were flirting like in front of this guy friend of
Yeah.
mine who was just standing there looking sad as shit for some reason, and I was like, "This is really uncomfortable." But he was like, "I'm
Guy friend?
yeah,
Probably
and
wanted to make
he-
out with you.
Probably,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm familiar with like cuckolding stuff because I used to do gay porn," and I was like, "What?"
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, "How did you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't even like dudes like that." And I was like, "Okay."
What?
I was like, "That's so interesting." I was like, "If you don't like dudes like that, how'd you get into it?" And he was like, "Because I have an 11-inch dick."
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
AIDS is very prevalent in the gay porn scene. Just a little heads up there, Ruthie.
I don't think it is, Mike.
Oh,
I
no,
think they
it's-
test regularly.
When?
Dude, that testing stuff is all bullshit.
What
watched
are you
the thing.
talking about,
There's
man?
ways around it. I
What are you
watched the whole
talking
thing.
about?
God.
No, because Pinky, this famous porn girl, she's like, yeah, I got multiple STDs. They said they were testing. They just, there's a way around it. It's like drug testing. They like probably get tested, and then they,
He looked pretty healthy. I don't think.
Well,
he
you
had
look good.
AIDS.
I'm
Okay,
just saying,
so
in general,
anyway.
next time you meet a gay porn star, be like, hey, do you got AIDS? Don't lie to me.
Honestly, I was thinking about that.
The whole time? So
the whole
end up
time,
keep.
but
So
later.
he tells you
So
about his
he
11
goes-
inch.
Yeah, he's like, I got an
penis.
11-inch dick, and I was like, yo. I was like, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, I'll show it to you if you want me to. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. So he was like, let's go around the corner. And so like we peel off Bedford.
Get the fuck out of here. This whole time now, is your friend who probably wanted to make out with you and is sad now, is he like, can I see it also?
No, he had pulled off.
He's like, I'm getting out of
yeah,
here, dude.
he was supposed to take another train, and so he was out of there.
Nice.
But he showed it to me, and I was like, that looks like a kid's arm. Dude, I was like, oh my fucking God. It was crazy. But yeah, I was really excited to tell you.
Did you guys hook up or you just...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you shitting me?
Did you go back
we
to his
fucked on
place?
somebody's stoop. No.
Stop. That's reckless.
It's the
That is
glasses,
Ruth,
right?
That is
Dude,
reckless
I
behavior.
know.
Do you use protection?
Yeah, of course. 'cause
Okay.
I
Well,
was
listen,
like,
he's a gay porn star with an 11-inch dick, and you're
I
fucking
had one
on a
in my
stoop.
tote.
You
I
gotta,
had one in
you
my
know.
tote because I'm
Jesus
prepared. The
Christ.
glasses, really, I've like been carrying stuff
Good
with
Lord.
me because I don't know what it is, but people are really trying to. Oh my God! But it was
like
great.
a child's arm. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But then also, what's fucked up is like, so
Yeah.
we go to the train and we like make out on the platform or whatever, in which I see my friend who looked sad, and I was like, "That's really bad. Sorry. Oops. Sadness." And then I go home, and this guy starts DMing me a bunch of like wild shit, really sexual shit about
Whoa.
like what he wants to do to me, and I was like, "Okay, sure." Like, I don't talk dirty. Do you talk dirty? You seem like you would not like that at all.
No.
Can you picture Mike talking dirty?
No, but that's also like how I feel.
yeah.
I feel like
I
with a
don't-
lot of comics, I'm like, I can't see you in like a sexual way. Your voice sounds like jokes to me. So I'm like, if you ever were like, am I freaking
Hello,
you
do
out?
you
I
like-
feel like you're just like
So,
disturbed.
it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, Mike is. Mike
Are you
is.
horrified? I feel bad.
I'm liking you more and more with this episode. Mike's liking you less and less.
I know. I
Oh,
can.
no.
Mike hates me now.
It's not a question of liking. It's a little
What's
worrisome, but hey.
Yeah, Mike is treating you like a 60-year-old grandfather, and he's like, I'm disappointed.
That's true. That's the thing is I have to certain bits that I have will make people who are older get really concerned. They don't think it's funny. They're like, "Are you safe?"
Old
and
souls.
I'm like,
Mike
Yeah.
is an old soul.
Old school, definitely.
Old school soul. So
You
anyway,
don't
he's
fucking-
DMing you, this guy.
He's DMing me.
Yeah.
He's talking about,
and this is after you hooked up with him?
yes.
Okay.
He was like, I want you to like, come on my face or whatever. And I
Jesus.
was like,
Nice.
sheesh. And for me, I was just like, okay, you know, like,
Okay.
yeah, I was like, I'll do that. And then the whole day passed, and like that evening, I finished up a show, and I was like, maybe I'll go fuck this guy. And I messaged him and was like, so you're gonna let me come on your face or what? And he goes, I'm actually in Jersey right now because my cousin died.
You're sexting at a funeral?
Apparently, it was like a recent thing. It was very sudden. But as somebody who doesn't ever say shit like that, I was like, that was kind of worst case scenario. Like, I'm sorry about your cousin.
You took a chance on sexting, and he was
I
like,
did. I was like, I felt horrified to type that. I was like, this is disgusting.
Oh, that's so
And then
funny.
I read that and was like, never again. I fucking hate myself.
Did you ever talk to him after that?
Yeah, we've DM'd a little bit.
Nice. Look at that. Fuck
Rest
yeah.
in peace to his cousin.
Well, to his cousin, I mean.
Yeah.
Damn.
How
What
did
did you say back? I'm so sorry.
I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. And he was like, it's fine. It was just sudden. And I was like,
Probably right after he sent the text the night before.
Exactly, right? I was like, fuck, when did you... Oh, my God.
Immediately
so bad.
after he's sending you that shit and he gets a call from his mom.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
We gotta go to Jersey.
I was like, that was really not what I expected you to say.
Good God.
I would have rather gotten ghosted, honestly.
I hate getting ghosted. I don't like it.
I also hate it. It's rude as shit.
It gives me anxiety too.
Yeah.
Because I used to have this thing about.
I would never ghost.
I used to. It's much easier.
Nice.
I never do it to people. I'll say like, I'll always send at least like, even if I'm kind of like fading with someone, I'll send a text like, "How's your week going?" And if they don't respond,
yeah,
and then it's done. I don't consider that a ghost.
No.
But if we're like talking and it's fizzling, but like if I hang out with someone or go on a date with someone or like, you know, we're hooking up or whatever, and then like I hit them up being like, hey, you know, what's your schedule like this week? We should hang out. And we're talking consistently and they just ice it. I hate that.
Yeah.
It gives me like, I get anxiety. I'm like, well, like, did I do something? And even though I know it's probably them, you know, it's just their behavior that I'm just like, oh, what, like, oh my God, like, I don't even think like, are they okay? Did they die? But I'm just like, oh my God,
okay?
Do they hate me? Like, was it something I did? Like, like, and then you know, but luckily that hasn't happened in a kind of a while, which is good.
You've been doing the ghosting. Wait, you said
no,
you
like we
wouldn't
haven't
ghost
been
somebody.
like no, like I haven't been ghosted
Didn't
by
you say
someone.
You just met somebody that you really like.
Okay, well, you know, we don't have to bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
It's ended already.
Oh shit. Okay, well.
No, I don't remember when I told you that. I'm trying to think. I met someone after a show, but they weren't at the show, and we hung out. She lives around the corner from here, and we hung out a couple times. We met when she had a boyfriend.
And then she broke up with her boyfriend.
I walked her home, and then she broke up with her. She hit me up to hang out 24 hours later, and we hung out. And then she told me that she broke up with her boyfriend this morning. I was like, okay, cool, fun.
Fun.
But yeah, that other girl that I was hanging out with,
Yes.
I enjoyed hanging out with her, but that ended after like 3 weeks. You know, you can't win them all. Mostly you lose.
Mostly you lose. Yeah.
And I mean, hey, this has been great. This is the longest pod we've done.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
This has
it's
moved
been fun.
very quickly. I've
Yes.
loved it.
Now,
I've had a great
before
time.
we go, you got to plug your Insta.
Oh, it's Ruth Allen 7.
Right.
And then my Twitter is Ruth Allen, but it's spelled ROOTH.
Yeah, smart. Definitely make it different across all socials.
Listen,
Yeah, real good.
fuck you. All
Sometimes
right,
you
it's
can't
not
get
that
your name.
serious. I don't care. It's fine. This is gonna be horrible
Yeah.
when this drops. I'm gonna be like, I can't believe I said all that shit. But I say
So good.
pretty grotesque shit.
Probably
going
gonna
to
come out in either 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Okay.
We might put yeah.
Yeah, and find me, Mike T. Kerrigan, Instagram.
Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe to See Otter Town Hall. These episodes are out every single Wednesday.
Ruth is single, guys, so get in those comments.
Go give Ruth a
fuck.
follow. Make sure you look at all her stuff. She's very funny. Go see her live. And that's it. We'll see you next week, baby.
Yes.
Good night.
Bye.
See Otter Town Hall.
Looking at it.